Ladies and gentlemen, now for our next match of the evening, we have our second combat grappling match. Fighting out of the blue corner, weighing in at 88.2 kilograms, a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, fighting out of Kick-Ass MMA, Steve Kennedy! And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, weighing in at 87 kilograms, a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, fighting out of Perth by way of Fiji, Wolves Den, James Wong!
Come order them. Yeah. That's been how he won all his fights.
That's his MO, absolutely.
So what James needs to do is James needs to be aggressive. He needs to basically control the standing engagements and needs to not make an easy mistake. If he makes a simple mistake or something that's cheap and ends up on his back, it'd be a bad time for him. But like if James can get on top, if he can control and pick his moments, then he can use his athleticism and his aggression to make Steve pay, basically.
I think as well, beautiful
takedown from James Wong. Beautiful takedown.
I think the match will favour James the longer it goes on because I think James just has a bit of an edge when it comes to things like cardio, explosivity, all that sort of stuff.
Steve, looking for a shoulder. Yeah, he's got the shoulder on there. Just holding that at the moment.
Steve is such a strong guy too.
Yeah,
you know,
he is. I don't know what he's quite.
Even
he's going to look for the omoplata here.
Strength in his hands.
Yeah. He's going to look. Some good advice in the corner from Brody. And to get his hips out so we can get finished that omoplata. And Steve's now starting to just pull that through a little bit. It's through now. And
posture's out of it.
Posture's out, good work.
It's very hard to get those sorts of positions.
Absolutely.
Especially both of them don't have a shirt on, so it's extra slippery when it comes to trying to
it would only be, it's literally something you could only do in the first 30 seconds when you're dry. And then as soon as the sweat starts going, you're gone.
Yeah.
And Steve, Steve is smart in that he won't throw too much from the bottom, but if he does, it will be expected to be unexpected. James doing a good job. He just needs to posture up now so he can either launch some strikes or start to pass. Yeah, good advice from Brody in the corner. Just keeping that posture broken, just not letting them come up and start to hit.
Yeah. Steve's really controlling a great part of the head here. He's slightly higher up to where, not right on the neck, slightly up on the head, just so it's stopping James from being able to posture that head and he strips it. Yeah.
And if I was James, I would actually focus more on my jiu-jitsu right now. I'd focus on actually passing the guard rather than getting the slaps, because right now he's not in a great position to cause much damage. Steve's pretty comfortable here. It's going to be more if he can get to side control or half guard. That's when he can start landing some damage, you know. But right now, this is not really going to bother him too much.
I think in the end, it's actually probably going to make James tighter to actually hit him from this position while he's trying to defend a little bit of this sort of jiu-jitsu, the posturing, you know, the control of the posture, all that.
Yeah, so Steve's looking for the Kimura. James does well. He recognises the threat and gets out. Just want to see some posture from James here. Just structure up. Yeah, Steve again going for that same position. Just locking the shoulder down. Just being a pain in the ass as he is wont to do. 20 seconds left. Again, looking for that omoplata. I think he's almost thinking about the go-go, isn't he? Yeah.
I'd like to see James just lay one on him from there. Like
there
that.
we go. Steve's going to stay there. Didn't quite have the time to come up there. Good work by James Wong, not pulling into Steve's bait. Yeah, beautiful work.
Nice.
Beautiful work by James Wong. Just pulled the guard through the slab.
I think, and I could be wrong, but I feel like Steve's been in this game long enough for like open palm slaps not to bother him too much. You know, he's taken so many hits. I imagine that James is much the same.
Yeah.
When you've taken full-on punches by guys of this weight and this caliber, open palm slaps, I don't think it's going to bother them all that much. Unless they can really throw their weight behind it, kind of what James was aiming to do at the end of that round there.
You know, the perfect position is to be sort of in that, you know, they're in turtle, you're just behind them and you're able to put some real throw into it, you know. Controlling a wrist and then slapping with the opposite arm is your best bet from like a guard position.
Yeah.
But it's not easy, especially with someone as experienced as both Steve and James are, you know. But, you know, right now, James Wong's a round up.
Yeah.
And, you know, Steve's going to have to pull this back if he wants to win.
I think with James landing those last few in that round, whether or not he's going to try and emulate that, once it gets to the ground, actually looking to keep a bit of distance rather than bunkering down and try and get these like opportunistic slaps to help him pass the guard.
Steve's just trying a little bit of distraction. Don't think it's going to work. Both men just tied up and said, Steve, James, I think you're going to respect James's wrestling a little bit more now after that entry. It was a good entry. You know, he just off-centered Steve and then picked up the single, went straight through to it. It was a blast double. Steve will switch on from that. But I want to see more of the same from James. I want to see him pushing the face and going first. Like often if Steve's looking to sort of pick up a leg from the single, you want to go first. You want to move him off centre to set up your attacks. And if James can string a couple of things together.
Both guys are quite flat-footed at the moment too. Just keeping quite a good base, but James is using that now to cause a little bit of off balance.
I think Steve's trying to bait him into grabbing his head. I think that's what he's trying to do. He wants him to grab the top of his head, almost like a guillotine attempt. Which probably wouldn't be successful. So see if he goes for it. See if he takes the bait. I don't think James is going to. I think he's going to look for an arm drag and try and off-center Steve. 90 seconds left. Steve fakes his shot. Yeah. Good advice in the corner again from Brody Spillian, a former champion. Steve goes for an outside leg tap. Not quite there. James, both men can pick up that single leg anytime they want. James especially. Steve looking for it. Not quite there. Both men are going to move the other one a little bit more.
I think they need to create a lot more movement that's going
exactly
on.
Right, yeah.
Going for these sorts of opportunities.
That's exactly right. You're spot on, Joe.
Steve's quite he has got quite a straight, he's changed it now. He's got 1 1 back, but there were a couple of times
there's the shot from Steve.
Wow.
Beautiful work. Beautiful work from James Wong.
Ended up on the top out of that exchange.
Just pure athleticism there, which was beautiful. Steve was successful in the takedown, but James, beautiful reversal. Beautiful reversal.
And now we might see James start to lay some open palm slaps on.
I think James should try and submit him. I honestly think he should try and submit him. Best of luck with that one, Steve.
Must be so tempting to go for like an elbow or something, someone like James just wants to lay an elbow down on him.
Honestly, I think from this position, James can now posture up and hit Steve. Good work from James Wong. The knee ride was perfect. Always having fun. It's another round for James Wong for me. Great work.
Yeah.
Great work by James.
Got a couple of takedowns from
That's it.
James. Steve nearly did secure that takedown,
He
but
did.
the way that James turned out that and reversed it.
Yeah, and that
Pitch
athleticism and great technical ability. And this is the thing, you know, like the combat jiu-jitsu is increasingly about moments. You got to take your moment when it comes. If you don't, you know, you end up with a stalemate, or worse, you end up on the bottom getting slapped.
I think
Just talking to the commentary box was Mr. Kennedy.
I feel like potentially we might see in this round James really start to pick up the pace, having had a little bit of success now. And Steve, you know, he's been a lot more flat-footed. He's actually standing quite square on in some of that other round. So I'd like to see him be a little bit more active. Like we said, they need to create a little bit more movement.
Steve, you know, the thing is I think Steve's maybe being reliant on James making a mistake, and James isn't looking like he's going to make a mistake right now, and that's the thing, you know. You've got to, you know.
And James is no slouch, you know.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. No, he's coming on a day's notice. Steve there looking for the leg, and again trying to bait that head grab. Definitely being a little bit more aggressive now.
Yeah, he's starting to push forward a little bit. I think
yeah.
he knows he's down the 2 rounds, and he actually is starting to go, you know what, like I need to push this a bit more.
Nice little calf kick from James there, which was great, and great defense. And Steve didn't set that up; he just shot. Now I think James needs to move it, needs to do something with it. Steve might look for an arm drag.
Yeah, you can't really
he's
hang
looking
out.
for it.
Yeah. You can't really hang out. Oh, nice switch out.
Yeah.
You can't hang on Steve's neck like that. He doesn't break, and he finds his way out. So you really can't stall there. You have to act.
He's switched on for the last round, 2 minutes left. But James very impressive in his defence there.
Yeah.
Like really, really good. He was aware of what Steve was maybe going to do and was alive to the counter, and nearly ended up in a good position himself, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah, and that's what happens with MMA fighters. They're prepared for anything.
Absolutely.
They fight in all disciplines. When you're an MMA fighter, you know everything.
Yeah.
And while you might not be a master at all of them, you are certainly very good at all those areas.
Oh, beautiful work by James.
Well
Wong.
timed.
Beautiful work. Beautiful sweep. And he's going to get the pass. He got the pass. And now, from this position, James can start unloading. I would come up to knee ride again. Yeah, beautiful. Now, this is the position. If he wants to cause some damage, he can. Steve rolls through, recognises the danger, throws a little slab himself. And James is now just starting to make himself into a position with a minute left where he can cause a little bit of damage.
He's going to chase this hip line. If Steve raises his hip up too much, he will give his back to someone like James, because he'll just chase that hip line.
Absolutely. And that, holding on to that head is more protecting himself.
Yeah.
James looking for the slaps.
I think that James could potentially go for Steve's arm there, because he's really leaving it up there.
I think he could, yeah.
I can't really see that.
I won't repeat what was just said.
I didn't hear that.
No, you don't want to.
Oh.
Steve looks for the switch, doesn't quite get it. And James Wong's going to see this out with 20 seconds left.
James is just sticky on him here. Yeah, he's holding on.
He's doing a great job.
Yeah, he's got that real connection with his chest.
Did a great job. And, Steve's come in at short notice, but no excuses. James has just been a little bit more technical.
Steve has managed to find his way to his Kimura grip here. Let's see if he can manage to do it.
Beautiful performance from James Wong. We'll go to judge's decision very shortly.
Great to see these two guys out of here. They've been on the scene for a long time, as we mentioned, and now they meet on the BG stage. I think James Wong's going to come away with the win, but Steve came in on this at short notice to take over for the match. So James was well prepared, and Steve's just a gamer.
quilates, se te notan los pilates. O tú ganas o yo gano, no lo dejamos en empate. En mi casa se remate. No fuimos low-key, callados sin dar detalles. La gente ya se dio cuenta que montamos la disco en la calle. Ya esto es... En el barrio siempre hay bailoteo, Ave María. El trago nunca falta ni la buena compañía. Yeah, cómo ha cambiado la vida. Yo crecí en el gueto y el mundo es la casa mía.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by judges' decision, fighting out of the red corner, James Wong!
We're on to James Wong, gets the win.
Steve, say some things.
Yeah, I know this is what you came here for. Humbly thank George Garley for having me back on. I made a bit of a disgrace to myself last time. I appreciate it. Love this show. Battlegrounds is sick. So good, so good. Combat Jiu-Jitsu is way better than regular Jiu-Jitsu. And I took this match under the premise that James wasn't as strong as he looks, but he is. I'm looking all right though, hey? No, that's all. I was in bad condition last time. I was lucky to win. I was in better condition this time, but I'm on the way back and I look forward to competing again in the future. Maybe get me an old man next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Stephen Kennedy. James, super impressive performance, mate. Talk us through your thoughts as you were kicking Steve's ass, basically.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. First of all, thanks, Steve, for taking the fight last minute. A round of applause to you, brother. Yeah, I was surprised how strong Steve was with his MMA and grappling background. So I knew I had to be patient and just calculate on the takedowns. But I'm happy to come with you with one.
For me, you showed your experience. You were smart in your attacks. You were aggressive when you won those wrestling exchanges, which is, in this combat jiu-jitsu seems to be increasingly important. So, as you're thinking about anything next, another combat jiu-jitsu match, maybe another MMA match? What are you thinking?
MMA's on the books, but John Fraser, if you're watching this, brother, hopefully everything's all good with the family. But I'm happy to fight John if I can on the next Battlegrounds. That'll be perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your winner.
Met you in the summer to my hot